Hey YouTube, Zach Guy here. I'm going to talk to you today about a Weeger. Now, I got this knife a couple of years ago. I did not know that Victorinox had bought out Weeger or merged with them or whatever. I had told my wife I wanted to try out the larger Weeger knife, and I asked her, put it on my list for Christmas, and this is what she gave me. This is the Ranger 58, also known as the Hunter, and it came in this nylon sheath, which is a fairly large sheath, but then again, this is a fairly large knife. Velcro. There's the knife. We'll get to that in just a moment. Go over the sheath real quick. It's got a eyelet in the bottom, so I guess if any water or anything gets in there, it'll drain out. Velcro close, got a belt loop on the back, and then it's got this eyelet on the bottom here. I would think that you could attach your lanyard to this and have that attached to the knife, and then this on your belt, and you wouldn't worry about losing it, or just another way to attach it to something, or whatever your imagination goes with for using it. Personally, I just carry the knife in this for storage, and when I throw it in my bag, when I'm going camping or whatever, or traveling and I want to take it with me, I just keep it in this. I don't wear this on my belt. It's a little bit too big for me. I prefer to carry that in my pocket, to be honest. Now, get to the knife here. This is a 130 millimeter 4-layer knife. As I said, it's the Hunter. It's a lockback blade. The difference between this and the 57, Ranger 57, is this has the Phillips on the back instead of the corkscrew. Other than that, same thing. Let's get into the blades here. Got the opening blade, or the one-handed opening blade, plain edge. Might see a little gunk on the blade there. I've been using it. The cool thing about this is it's a liner lock, but the way you unlock the blade is you push down on your emblem here, and that allows the blade to close. It pushes the liner out of the way, and then you can close it. Victorinox still makes this model, the Ranger series, and they kept that. It's just the Victorinox shield now instead of the Weeger shield. Then your next blade is the gutting blade. Has a point on it, but it's not sharpened, and you go back about a ½ inch or so on the blade and it's not sharpened. And then you get your edge here to where you make when you're skinning your animal, you would make a small incision, put this in, and then you can go up to gut it, and you don't have to worry about puncturing any internal organs. You can also use this as a secondary carving blade, whittling blade, or whatever, just to save your main blades. Again, just stick here, popsicle stick, so you can get some decent cuts in it. If you're worried about saving your main blade edge, you can use this for some light carving, or whittling, I should say, making a stick for your hot dog or roast a piece of meat over the fire or whatever. This is a non-locking blade. Then the next blade is your saw blade, and this is the largest saw you will see on a Swiss Army knife, and let me tell you, that puppy works good. Don't know if you can see, but it's got some resin on there and whatnot from cutting up sticks. I use this knife mainly out in my yard, trimming, pruning bushes and so on. And then you have the opening layer. Got the Weger can opener. The Victorinox version has the Victorinox can opener on it. And then you have the screwdriver, cap lifter, and one of the cool things, and they kept this on the Ranger series, is when you see if you can see it. Not sure if you can, but back here and then right there, there's a notch, and when you press down on the blade, it locks open, and then when you take the pressure off, it unlocks. But when you're pushing down on it, that pressure is there. You don't have to worry about the knife folding up on you. And it doesn't have the half stop, but it, like I said, it locks open when you're putting pressure on it and you're torquing the screw. It's very nice. And then you have, like I showed earlier, have your Phillips, and then you have the awl with the eyelet there. Now this does not have any sharp edges. It does have a fairly nice point on it. The version that Victorinox now puts out has the Victorinox awl that has the sharpened edge on it. So, and then your key ring. It doesn't have any can openers. It does have a can opener. It doesn't have toothpick and tweezers on this knife. I don't know if the Victorinox version, the one with the Victorinox logo, if they added that. Been thinking about getting one just to compare the two. Let me go over the specs on this real quick. As I said, closed, this knife is 130 millimeters, which is 5 1/4 inches. The blade is 95 millimeters, which is 3 3/4 inches. Opened, it's 225 millimeters, comes out to 9 inches. The width is 26 millimeters, which is 1 inch. It weighs in at 195 grams, comes out to 6 3/4 ounces. Like I said, Victorinox and Weger merged in around 2005. Both the Weger and the Victorinox were made until around 2013, and then 2014 on, only Victorinox knives were made. But they kept the Weger models as the Delmont collection, so you can still get this knife, but with the Victorinox logo on it, and a couple of the tools on the knife were changed over to the Victorinox style. This knife is a very big, beefy knife, and as you can look in here, you can see where there's a fairly good sized gap in between blades that kind of makes the knife a little bit wider than the Victorinox knives. And just to show as a comparison of how much closer the blades are, so you can see that it's just a little bit difference in the width there. This isn't a 4-layer knife, but you can see how much, let me turn so both, the spacing in between the different blades is, and that's what makes the Weger slash Delmont knives so much wider. And as I've said, a lot of people, some people prefer that. I would prefer a little bit more compact, but I do like the size. It's a good size knife. Opens up nicely. It's a good sharp blade. I don't think I've even had to sharpen this since I got it. It's still, and it's been used quite a bit. So it holds an edge for a while. I've had this knife for about 2 or 3 years. As I said, my wife got it for me for Christmas a couple of years ago. I think it was one of the last Uyghurs made before they went strictly to Victorinox logo. Do like the knife. Comes in handy. It's a little heavy, but you got so much functionality in it, whereas other knives that are this heavy don't have as much functionality as the Victorinox knives, or the Swiss Army knives I should say. You got a small mini tool kit in your pocket, whereas if you had a buck folding Hunter, the 110, you have a single blade and it weighs as much or more than this, but this one has just got so much more functionality in it. I really like it. So hope you enjoyed this little review of the Uyghur Ranger 58 Hunter 130 millimeter knife. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and remember, always be prepared.